Alright, what's up, y'all? I'm back. We about to get into another cook up here. This one I'm gonna go a little more in depth with the different keybinds I use, the different strategies I use to build my melodies and put drums on them. So yeah, let's just hop straight into FL Studio and I'll show y'all how I cook up step by step. Alright, the first thing I usually do when I start a beat from scratch is find a sound to start a bass melody off of, and then start building sounds on top of that to get a nice full melody. I don't really know what the vibes are right now. We just gonna open something up and pick a sound and start from there. All right, so I found a sound in Electra X here. This is what it sounds like. And I'm gonna go ahead and start playing out a melody on my MIDI keyboard. It's right here in front of me. You guys can't see it, but I'm gonna just start messing around with it, seeing what I can find. And then once I'm ready to get that in the piano roll, just make sure you're right here selected on the sound here. So make sure you're selected on the sound here, and then go ahead and just right click and hit piano roll. And it'll bring up the piano roll where you can go ahead and click in your melodies if you'd like to, if you don't have a MIDI keyboard. Or you can also just play something on MIDI and record it. I'll show you guys how to do that as well. Alright, so I think I found a nice rhythm I want here. So to set the BPM to the right rhythm I'm feeling, you can go ahead and just right click the tempo right here where it says 140. It might say 130 for you. That's usually what it starts at. But you just go ahead and right click that and then hit tap up here, and then you can go ahead and just click your mouse button and it'll come up with the BPM for whatever rhythm you're tapping in. So 137 looks like. Alright, so the way you would record this is go ahead and just click this red record button up here, and then it might ask you which type of recording you want to do, a notes, audio clips, automation. You want to just select notes if you're going to play a melody on your MIDI here. And then I'm going to put the tempo on just so that I can make sure I'm on rhythm while I'm playing out the melody. And you can just click this right up here. That'll turn on your metronome for you. Alright, so I just played out this melody into my piano roll, and it looks like it's not fully on the grid, so it won't sound perfectly on time. But you can quantize this, which basically just snaps it to the grid as best as it can automatically. And the way you can do this is holding Control and Q at the same time. And yeah, it'll try its best to snap it to the grid. It could be off at certain times, but you can go in and just change that up. So let's see how this sounds with the metronome on. And then I'm just making this second half a little bit different so that it has, so it's not just the same 2-bar melody repeating itself. I'm going to change it up a little bit, add some depth and a different melody on that second half. Alright, I'm going to actually change the sound because I'm not feeling this one anymore. Alright, so I did find this sound for this melody here. It's a very faint sound. But this is where layering comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and add another sound here and make another melody on top of it to get some nice layers going on here. Alright, so I found this sound in Xenology, and we're going to mess with this one, try to build some melodies with this one on top of the other one. Alright, so I played in this little, this simple melody here, and I want this to play on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of this by holding down Control and my left mouse and just dragging to select all of these, and then hold Shift down, and then we're going to hold Shift down and then click on the keys here, and whatever is selected it will duplicate. and then you can just drag that over to the exact other side where it would start here. So it would start in the on the second hit here. So go ahead and put that in, and then we'll just move this. We'll delete that one. And I'm gonna add another sound in here. Get some layers coming up in here. Alright, I just played out this other melody, and once again I want this to be on the other side here. So an easier way to do that is just by clicking Control B. You don't have to select anything, and it will copy straight over to the other side. And then with a little sound mixing and effects, we can get this sounding a lot different, and hopefully a little more bouncier than it is right now. Alright, now that I have a pretty nice melody, I'm going to go ahead and start adding drums, and then we'll get straight into the mixing after that. Alright, one thing I like to do with my 808s is in the envelope tab, turn the attack down as well as the release, and then turn the hold all the way up. So what this does is when you play a note on your keyboard or your MIDI, it will only play for however long you're holding it down for. So for example, it'll stop when you let go of the key. If it's not like that, you hit the key once and it'll play the entire note, just like this. It'll play the entire note, whatever key you're in. But I like to have the envelope set like that just so I can have more control of when I want it to stop, and then, you know, when I want the 808 to play out. So yeah, that's one thing I do like to do with my 808s here. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting in a pattern for my 808. Make sure your 808s are always in tune, otherwise it's not going to sound right. It's just not. So an easy way you can make sure they're in tune is pitching it up an octave or two to really hear that tone and make sure it's matching with the melody. So you can tell this one is in key rather than sorry. So yeah, by pitching this 808 up, I can tell it's in key. So that sounds right to me rather than this. Or this, right? That sounds right to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make a little pattern for my 808 here. See, just by pitching this up, I heard this key wasn't actually the right key. There we go. That sounds better. I think right now what it's missing is like a really loud, just synthy like chord. So I'm gonna look for something like that to throw in here, and then yeah, we'll go from there. I think this beat's pretty much done. We're gonna throw this in the mixer and fuck with the sounds in here individually, and then we'll start the arrangements. I'm not going to do too much with this beat. I'm going to throw this in the playlist and just start an arrangement real quick. The arrangement is kind of however you guys want to do it. However you want the beat to progress, but unless you want the beat playing fully out, which there's a lot of songs like that by popular artists. You can add, intros. You can make it more in depth. You can also just keep it bare and just throw the beat in the playlist. It's really up to you and however you want your beat to sound. So it really just depends on the beat. I'll be throwing in intros sometimes, or just leaving the beat just straight in when you start it. But yeah, let me see what I'm feeling with this one, and then we'll kind of fuck with it from there. Alright, I think that's gonna do it for the arrangement. Just throw my tag in here. And then I usually like to throw a fruity soft clipper on my master, and then just turn the post up to get a louder and punchier sounding 808 and shit like that. Alright, yeah, so that's pretty much my process when I'm making beats from scratch. It varies from time to time if I sample something or if I go a little more in depth with the effects and everything like that and the sound selection. But I am actually a little bit in a rush because I do start class in about like an hour. So I gotta, hurry up this vid and then start heading my way over there. But yeah, let me know what you guys else want to see. Some more tutorials, some more in-depth videos, maybe some different kind of challenges, anything like that. I'm down for whatever, for real. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start getting ready for class here. But y'all have a good rest of your day. And here's the rest of that beat here.